Hello, good morning. If you visited yesterday's video, if you're part of the series, I'm not in my jammies today. So, we're winning. For everybody who's new, I am Megan, and this is Everybody Yoga with Megan. And for today's practice, my meditation was actually on the Serenity prayer from Alcoholics Anonymous this morning. Oh, and I needed it, right? The serenity to accept the things I cannot change. That's the space that I'm needing to hold for myself right now, right? Like, things are unsettled. I'm going to pause. Nothing is permanent, but things can feel permanent and overwhelming sometimes. So anyways, that's just what's on my heart this morning. I don't even need the wisdom to know the difference because I can't even get to the first part. Like that's where we're at. So let's get started in child's pose. As always, take any variation that feels good in your body and come into a breath pattern that is intentional. You don't have to pick Ujjayi or any other kind of specific breathing pattern. Just come into awareness. Sometimes just the awareness is all we need. Press up to your cow-cat and just take a few here. You'll know when your spine says, okay, we're ready for more. I used to teach going right into down dog. And now I'm like, why? Why do we have to be so hard, Why can't we ease our way into our stress relief? Why can't we decompress first? So whenever you feel ready, we'll meet in downward facing dog, right? It's a little anti my methodology that I was trained under, where we come in hard and hot and we get all this anxiety supposedly out and then we settle in. And now learning more about the nervous system, like all that does is actually prolong the stress response. You don't run through it. Anyways, we're not here about that today. Today we are here to move and breathe and find serenity. Bring your feet to your toes, your feet to your hands, just however feels good. Pause and your halfway lift. We're going to do some spine work here where we try to flow like water. So we're going to exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold. Lift. And you want this movement to come even from the pelvis, so try it a couple more times. You notice my knees bend to help make it fluid. Pause at your next halfway lift. We're going to come into a toe fold. So take your peace fingers, wrap them around your big toes. Pull your torso down, tuck your chin in. Tailbone lifts, head lowers. Release your toes, halfway lift. Pull your belly button into your spine, bring your hands to your hips, up with the torso, pause here. Hands are on the hip bones in the back, elbows pull together. Squeeze your lower belly in, baby back bend. Lift the heart, squeezing the shoulder blades down and together so the collarbones open. One more breath. Come to neutral. Palms shine forward. Some must beat the heat. Take a look down at the feet. Are you at 12 o'clock? Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, forward fold, hang. Really working on the east and west side of the body today. The front and the back, sorry. Inhale, halfway lift, pause. Plant your hands, knees come to armpits, pause here. High push-up. Lower down, you choose up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Get your feet to your hands just however you want and halfway lift. Pause. Left hand to the ground or a block. Inhale, right arm up. Other side. We did a variation of this, I think, yesterday, grabbing the ankle. Back to the center, fold. You can take a rag doll, you can just hang. Inhale, rise up, Tadasana. Hands to heart center, let your eyes close. Again, bringing the concept of serenity to your mat. This moment, this breath. Inhale, lift up, look up, pause. Inhale, reach up and back, micro bend. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. We're pausing here. If you've already moved on, that's okay. Plant your hands, drive the feet back. High plank. Lower down, same thing, up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. We're gonna come into a variation of shoulder stand. So go ahead and set up near the wall and maybe grab a block or a towel just to give yourself some support. So a block in this instance needs to be weight bearing. I know sometimes we just need like stability. So let me grab my block. So we've been opening up the front, really the back side of the body, which is where we receive love. And so if we're feeling unsettled, receiving love is the best way to bring the body back into a neutral way of being. So we're gonna keep working on the back side of the body. So set up, booty really close to the wall, legs up the wall. This is our phase one. If this is like hamstring hell, stay here. If you'd like to head where we're going, you're gonna bend your knees, put a block under the low back, so a little bit higher up than you think you might want to, and pick a level that's not super aggressive, but maybe uncomfortable. And we're just gonna pause here for a couple of breaths. And same thing as our Tadasana when we were standing, right? Like this moment, this breath. All right. If this is enough for you, if this feels like plenty of work, stay here. Otherwise, I want you to walk your elbows underneath you, closer together. Bend your knees, lift your hips, walk the shoulders again, and stay in this assisted shoulder stand. If your neck is very tender, the blanket goes under the shoulders. And you can see that my hips are nowhere near over my shoulders because I find this pose very, very uncomfortable. And this pose is supposed to help stimulate the thyroid, and I have thyroid disorder. So I've always wondered, is it uncomfortable because my thyroid is off? If I forced myself to do it, would it help regulate my thyroid? I don't know. We're gonna slowly come down, coming back to that shoulder stand. We were in shoulder stand, legs up the wall. And we're gonna pause here for a couple breaths. We're gonna come into another supported shoulder stand. If shoulder stand is in your practice and it's easily accessible, feel free to come into a full shoulder stand. If none of those words made any sense to you, you're just not today, okay? Not today. This is a really intense pose to try and teach without seeing you to make sure that you're safe. Bend the knees again. I like to start by walking the elbows underneath, lifting up, and then re-supporting again. Gently make your way down, back to legs up the wall, and just settle here for a moment. And one more breath. Bend your knees, pick up your hips, remove your block. Take your arms to a T, twist your knees to the side. And you're close enough to the wall that this should kind of force you into that 90-degree twist. Twist to the other side. As you're ready, make your way onto your back, just however is comfortable. We're going to end our practice in a little bit of a prolonged savasana in an effort to help us focus on our breath. take your attention to the tip of your nose. And as you're breathing, just become aware of the tip of your nose. And then take your attention to your toes. And then shift up to the crown of your head. And then allow your breath to act like its own cycle. Inhale, tip of the nose, filling the feet with oxygen and energy, circling back up to the crown of the head, and exhale back out, tip of nose, right? So creating your own energy cycle where your breath impacts every cell in your body. And this might require deeper and deeper breath, and that's okay. Or if the practice is not for you today, you don't do it. You have one more breath here. Then come into your fingers and your toes with a little movement. As you're ready, come into a fetal position. There's no rush. If you're doing this practice and you have time, stay in your fetal position as long as it takes to feel nourished. A 20-minute practice is better than nothing, but there's something to be said for a 60 or 90-minute flow. As you're ready, press up to a simple seat. Inhale your hands to heart center. May we have the serenity to accept the things we cannot change. Namaste. Thank you, my yogis. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you again tomorrow.